think that both the Commission and governments have lost their way as regards the science that is involved in the pesticide industry, and we're getting a lot of media coverage that I think is grossly unfair to the science of agriculture. I'm a graduate in agricultural science, and there's so much nonsense talked about not only the traditional science that we've all been grown up with, but any new technological developments which I think are going to be vital for the world in the future. Taking Ireland, which is my country, we have a very humid climate, and if we didn't have fungicides, for example, our grain crops would go to approximately half their present yield. We've got to feed an increasing population in the world, and now if we sort of forget about all pesticides, our food production in the developed world is going to go down by 50%, and there's going to be not only massive starvation in the third world, but I think there's also going to be the poorer people in some of the more developed countries, I think, are going to find the cost of food is going to be enormous, because the demand is there, and if the supply isn't there, food is going to go through the roof.
Well, for the moment, I think the pesticides will be used for, I think, even decades, if possible, in a sustainable way. That's, I think, the key issue here. So pesticides are, let's say, part of an agricultural system, but it should be used in an environmental friendly, but especially in a sustainable way.
So crop protection products are going to be one of the tools that are available to us. We have to be able to allow our farmers to use a variety of technology. This really, I think, embraces a lot of what is growing these days in terms of integrated pest management, which is looking at how the farmer grows his product, which land he uses, things like crop rotation. It's also about what strains of crops that he might use, what seeds he uses. So it's really looking at all the chemical, the biological material that we work with, the potential that we've got in these plants so that we can realise it, but also working with the environment to be able to get the best possible so that we minimise pest and diseases, minimise weeds, but ultimately can still use chemical intervention as almost as a last resort in order to protect our crops, having made such an investment in them.
What's your interest in this forum?
It's really to see different people's viewpoints, because in legislation you're inclined to get one particular viewpoint without taking all the other viewpoints into consideration. So it's really to try and see and hope that there are other legislators here who will appreciate the consequences of some of what they're proposing.
Well, one of the major things I heard that was very interesting was communication. People are not really communicating, or let's say information is not trickling down from government administration research to the consumer, for instance.
I think that one of the most important things is to encourage research, and second is communication to the public that that these things are not poisonous, because that's the sort of a message that the media are trying to spread. Now, I think if we have good scientific research which tests all these things, and it's like medical drugs or any advancement in science, they've got to be tested properly. And I think that we haven't done that. National governments haven't done that research, because politicians are only there for 3 or 4 years, and research takes 7 or 10 years to achieve. And also they're reluctant to rock the boat in anything that might affect their media presence.